What's up, Buttercup? It's your girl Rasati out here in Singapore. It is the Night Out podcast, you guys. Thank you so much for joining in. It's about like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I gotta tell you, my brain is still kind of wired. I started watching, yeah, forgive me, y'all. I started watching The Social Dilemma, and it was really interesting actually because I knew this on the surface, but once they broke it down and told us exactly what these former employees were trained to do, what they were looking for, the fact that we're all being used as a product because we didn't pay for anything. So they're using, we become the product. The commodity is our attention, and everyone's vying for our attention. And it's like, how can they get you to go back to your phone? How can they get you enticed enough to like sit back on your phone and scroll through aimlessly because they want your attention? The odds are not in our favor. And it's almost like they figured out that if they can just get back to your phone, they can predict your buying, they can predict your interest based on all the things you've liked before. And it sounds so great and intelligent and everything, but it's so manipulative at the same place because they just want you to stay on your phone. But I was thinking about it on the flip side of that because you guys, I am victim just like you guys, right? And I fall into that trap sometimes. I aimlessly hear my phone ding and I go to look at the notifications because I'm like anal retentive like that. I can't have notifications on my phone. I gotta clear them. It fucks me up a little bit. So when I clear them though, then it catches my eye. The first thing that happens to be on my feed, and then I scroll a little bit and see what else is going on. And then before I know it, half an hour has gone by and I haven't done much of anything. And it is a tough habit to break, especially as an entrepreneur, because here I am trying to set the curve for myself, right? I'm not trying to beat nobody. I'm not trying to be in competition with anybody. I'm trying to be better than I was the day before. And I have my own goals and I have my own idea of what I need to be getting done. But, let me tell you what, Netflix and Instagram and Twitter, Pinterest is a big one. I will get lost, literally, just because I have the phone in my hand. And I don't know if it's because I have the phone in my hand or in arm's reach or whatever that I still wake up in the middle of the night and tend to scroll for no good reason. Back in the day, it was because, I kept my phone on because I was working shift work, and I would keep my phone on and near me because just in case my clients from overseas called, something happened, I would just want to make sure that I'm in contact or available, at least in case my stepson called, or in case, my brother called from the army in the US. I just wanted to be available. And then I guess it just became habit. It's like I have to have it near me. And yep, it's the newest drug. It's attention. It's likes, comments, followers, sharing, making sure you're tagged and stuff. Like, oh my goodness. And I know it's necessary for business. I know that on a community marketing basis, right? The social, I don't know, what is that word? The social fabric of our lives at the moment is all online. It's not in person anymore. But I try really hard to make sure that I put name with a face, like in person, not just on DMs or mutuals, whatever the terminology may be. But it's become really hard, and I'm not gonna lie, I am not great at this yet. I will be, but not yet. Something that they said that really it hit a nerve with me though, the fact that we don't pay to use any of these platforms means that we aren't buying a product, we've become the product, because the people that are paying good money to be on the platforms that we're on are the ones that are buying advertising space, the ones that are trying really hard to predict our buying habits and to be there in our face as often as possible. But it's not just our phones, y'all. It's internet and YouTube. And what if we become, all of a sudden, we've become the generation of people that don't really learn so well when we're in a classroom setting with a bunch of other people. We learn better on our own when we are searching and chasing our curiosity and using YouTube and using Pinterest tutorials and whatever else. We're the generation that makes money off of teaching people stuff. It could be something as mundane as, how to get stains out of your clothes, or something as extravagant or complicated as makeup, and as in to contour your face so you look like somebody else completely. Like there's a lot to consider there. But I want to talk to you a little bit about the fact that The Social Dilemma, as brilliant a piece of Netflix original movie making as it is, and as harsh as it is, the truth that they're actually revealing to us, I think we need to consider why it is that we are so easily distracted? What is it that we're not being taught that we need to be taught? How do we get to that place of, you know what, I'm gonna put the phone down and see what I can get done instead of what I can watch other people doing? And that's something I realized as well. I think there was a quote a while back. I think it was George Carlin that said something along the lines of, how many action movies do we need to watch to get that thrill satisfied? And how many, you know, cooking shows do we need to see to finally get up off our ass and actually go do it for ourselves? Like, why are we supplementing with these videos of other people doing stuff? Why aren't we doing for ourselves and figuring it out? And I think back then when I heard that quote, it hit a nerve. And now again, it's hitting a nerve because I could be doing so much more, but I lose lots of my life by watching TV. And it's not to say that I watch like random nonsense. I don't watch reality TV at all, but I do watch stuff like History Channel. I do watch, lifestyle and home improvement shows. I love home improvement. Anything to do with decor, let's see, what else? Arts and crafts, anything along those lines, making clothes, styling, just general stuff that I wasn't really good at growing up. I've tried to really like bone up on a little bit to see if I can get a little bit better, and find my own style and find my own way of doing things. And it's a matter of actually testing those theories though. At some point, you get tired of sitting on the sidelines and watching. You get kind of antsy, right? It's the same reason I can't watch a dance performance. I can't. I want to be up there dancing. I can't watch a sport that I know how to play. I can't. I got to be on the field doing it. I just, it's hard for me to sit on the sidelines and watch. I'm not a spectator. I wasn't built that way. And for that matter, as much as I love tutorials on YouTube and Pinterest, mini videos like Taste Made and stuff like that on how to make stuff, I still love a cookbook. I still love paper and turning the page and trying to settle up all my ingredients first before I go ahead and start on the recipe itself. Like, I love that. I love that pen and paper feel. I love that old school, let me try this my way kind of feel. I like the experimentation. I like doing. A lot of times you look at, what is that? Pottery Barn. Pottery Barn, if I can speak, has those beautiful pieces of, I really am a loss for words today. I guess my throat chakra's a little fucked up. Knickknacks, like stuff that you can place around the house that are decorative, pieces that are unique and beautiful and kind of reflect a specific kind of style, based on maybe your movie likes and your pop culture that you're attracted to, or the kinds of music that you love. And I love just tchotchke kind of things that you can put around the house. But I also know, based on the price tag, and then having seen like similar items in, thrift stores or Dollar Tree, or here it's not Dollar Tree, it's called Daiso over here. So if I see any of those things, I know with a little bit of ingenuity and elbow grease, I can make something really beautiful and fascinating that would be one of a kind and would be on par with Pottery Barn. It's just a matter of making it, and it would be so much cheaper. But it's a matter of getting up off your butt and trying to figure it out. I remember seeing a globe. It's a piece of art that was actually once a globe, and then they made it into something else. And I thought it was just beautiful. It was just gorgeous. And I was like, man, I can't do any of that. And it wasn't until I sat down and tried that I was like, yo, it's really not that bad. I could definitely do something along the lines of, making a piece of art out of something that's everyday. I mean, globes, I can buy one for $15, and just with another like $10 worth of paint, I could do all kinds of stuff, honestly. And I didn't know until I started doing it. Same thing with this concept of paper dolls. Yes, we need the inspiration. I need something to show me that, hey, this stuff is possible. Once I see it, I know in my mind's eye what I want it to look like eventually, and then it's a matter of just drawing it out. And it's a magnificent concept, but with the kinds of things that the social dilemma was explaining, I realized how much of a wormhole I fall into every time I turn the computer on or I start watching something. Now, you guys know I do pull a lot of inspiration from the dialogues and the character development on stuff on Netflix. I've made that become something that's useful to me. But at the same time, there's a lot of stuff that isn't useful. It is a complete time suck. So I'm trying to find my way. I'm trying to find my own balance. And as always, it's just a matter of trying trying, instead of watching other people do, I'm trying to do as well. I'm trying to put it into action instead of just letting the world pass me by as other people are doing stuff. So honestly, that discipline really comes into play when it comes to stuff like social media and social media versus entrepreneurship. Let me put it that way. How about that? Because as much as I am an entrepreneur, I do need my social media networks. I do need people to draw their attention to me. I do need to put out videos every day. And I know that attention spans have shortened more and more, with every passing year. What used to be a collective that was ready to watch an hour-long documentary no longer watches hour-long documentaries unless they are very, very excited about the concept or the content or the person that they're speaking with or they're talking about. Other than that, it's, do you have 35 seconds to watch me say something real quick that might be a little bit provocative, that might actually lift your spirits for a moment or motivate you to do something that you've been on the fence about anyway? So a lot has changed, and I realize that this wormhole that we call Social Dilemma now, this Netflix original that I'm talking about, it's quite scary and quite creepy exactly how much is controlling our attention. I think I remember Batman, the one where Jim Carrey played the Riddler, and he kept talking about these set-top boxes, these boxes that would, basically hypnotize the people that were watching it. And even then, the Disney cartoon WALL-E is a lot like that. You get stuck to your screens and you forget that the rest of the world time is passing by and things are moving forward still, and you are in a vegetative state just watching the screen. So it really does matter. It matters how you use it, how much of your intention you're actually using, how awake you happen to be when it comes to social media, and what you're scrolling for. Like, a lot of us business oriented people are trying to catch an audience or trying to at least build an audience, and from there you have to be present a lot. But how much scrolling do you do versus creating and posting? I mean, honestly speaking, I can create a podcast in about 12 to 15 minutes. And then it takes me about 10 minutes to upload onto my computer, rip the audio, and then convert it into a published podcast on Spotify. Not a big deal at all, but I also know that if I'm not intentional, I'm not careful, and I don't get on this phone of mine to record this podcast, and I start scrolling aimlessly, I can lose 12 to 15 minutes real quick without even thinking about it. And then the time would have passed by. It's like, I could do it now, or I could do it now, or I could do it now. And I just get stuck in this scrolling fetish because I can. Because the algorithm is so great that it knows exactly the kinds of accounts you've been clicking on lately, and the things you've been looking up lately, and the things you've been commenting and liking lately, and it feeds you exactly what you need to see. So it becomes an attention dilemma for me to be able to tear myself away from randomly scrolling aimlessly and actually creating something on purpose because I saw something that turned my head, caught my attention, made me think for a minute, and then I wanted to expound on the concept. And that's where all my podcasts come from, to be honest. So a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but ultimately we are in danger of losing our lives to social media if we're not awake enough to understand that there is a time and a place for everything, and we need the discipline to be able to continue creating. I know everything's at our fingertips. I know we can order food and it'll come right to us. We don't really need to cook anymore. But for those of us who have lived pre-internet, we know things can go down any minute. We knew when dial-up internet was so bad we weren't sure if we were going to get a connection or not. And I know sometimes if you don't pay the bill, you're not going to have Wi-Fi, and you're going to freak out a little bit. So in order to combat all of that, I still try to be as analog as possible. Still trying to be, intentional with whatever it is I'm creating. I still want to read books. I still want to consume content, but not necessarily on social media. So I'm doing the best I can. Social Dilemma definitely was a rude awakening today. I knew it in the back of my head, but when I watched it, I was like, yo, oh gosh, what am I doing with my life? And here I am sitting, trying to record and make sense of everything. But I know I can do better. I definitely know I can do better. All right, y'all. I love you guys. I'll catch you again soon. Bye.